Hello everybody, welcome back to the Daily Journal series. On this episode we have met our goal for saving up in the bag space. It is curated to the exact ingredient list that I was wanting for it. So we're ready for the Legendary Beast event. Hopefully it can last us through 2 weeks of event. Now we started working on a berry bomb last night. Now I still, unfortunately, have to run Dragonite or some sort of dragon type during the night, this last night, just to get those extra sleep hours, to get those last couple candies, because I don't want to miss out on the handy candies. That's 5 handy candies. It adds up over time. But anyway, I had a commenter. One of you guys asked me, could you do a video documenting how to berry bomb? And I was like, I got to think about it. Well, I already have a berry bombing guide video, but I will say it is one of my, I think it is genuinely one of my worst videos on the channel, in my opinion. I feel like my point didn't come across very well, and the spreadsheet is very difficult to understand based off the way I laid it out, and I feel like it was very incomprehensible almost. The video's still up, the information's still there. I didn't say anything that was wrong. But if you want to learn more about it, you can go check that out. It's just, no, it's not a great video. It's kind of difficult to understand. But anyway, here's the quick rundown of berry bombing. Basically, you have 1 or 2 Pokemon on the team. Well, 1 legendary, usually. And then also an overstacker, an extra helpful Pokemon. Usually, sometimes you can replace this with instead Palmot. Because healing and having an extra helpful Pokemon make roughly the same sort of contributions, but it does vary depending upon certain factors. But usually you want them to be the same type because the legendary does gain a bonus from whatever the other Pokemon is, and usually at least 1 berry Pokemon of the typing that matches the legendary that you're using, so that you can get like 3 species. I'd say is a nice balance. And then just an extra Pokemon to overstack onto. An extra berry specialist, preferably with a lower ingredient rate. If it can match type again, like let's say this was a Ninetales, that'd be even better. But I also know that this upcoming week we're going to have water, electric, fire berries. Fire, like I said, would still be better. It'd be better if I have a Ninetales, but I don't have a Ninetales, so I'm using my Raichu instead. Typically it's best to use ones that have Berry Fighting S and Helping Bonus if you have them. But I know that those type of Pokemon are pretty rare in this game. It's a pretty rare set of sub-skills. But Berry Fighting S alone is a must, like must. Helping Bonus is a nice added bonus because it helps in making the Legend proc more. Now what you do is you leave them in sneaky snacking mode. You just let them, not the skill specialists. The skill specialists you collect from, and the berry specialists you just let them sit. And basically what those procs do is they add more berries to their inventory. That actually goes beyond their inventory cap. Now, I can't show this right now because I got very unfortunate. I ran them all yesterday, didn't get a proc. And then I ran them last night, during the night. And I got 1 proc from the Arcanine, but he procced on himself. So it didn't actually contribute anything to a berry bomb on either of my Pokemon. But then, basically, when you come to... Now, I am running Swalot as well, because I just want Dream Shards, so I'm sacrificing a little bit in my Berry Bomb to get more Dream Shards. That's my thing. Swalot's not important here. You can probably run a healer there, or another Pokemon to Berry Bomb on is usually the best approach, if you want to really maximize this Berry Bomb. But then, in my case, I also like to prep an ingredient bag, like what we already talked about. Once you get to this point, you can't collect ingredients off your skill specialists. So I usually just set up 2 teams, one that includes just the Pokemon that I want to be overstacking on. Here's the one with the Typhlosion and the Raichu. And then here's the other one. And then when I want to clear their inventories, I'll swap to this team, hit the back button so that it saves that information, then swap back. It clears the ingredients that you can't collect in their inventories because your ingredient bag is at maxed. This is waste. It is pure waste. If you were a little bit more diligent about it, you could maybe sell the ingredients, use them as filler in a meal. But I personally like to really min-max that power of the bag for events, and that's where I'm willing to take a little bit of a hit on maximizing the use out of my ingredients this week. and willing to take the hit by just burning those ingredients to literal nothingness, for the sake of keeping that very, very carefully curated ingredient bag space. It's technically suboptimal, but I'm alright with that to achieve my goals. I'm a player that likes and values consistency more than anything else, so that's where my values come into play there. But anyway, let's hop into today's sleep session review. I mean, we're not too high in strength, as you saw there. I'm not really optimizing strength this week. This week's very much so an off week for an event. And I'm definitely prioritizing prep and dream shards over actual event strength, because those things matter the most in time between events, in my opinion. That looks like a slumbering graph, if I had to guess. Yes, it is. I got some deep sleep last night, I guess. It looks like we're at 7 spawns. Yep, 7 spawns. With a 4-star. That is good to see. Although it's probably going to be like some unevolved 4-star because we're not really that high in drowsy power. Oh, would you look at that? Cubone, one of the worst Pokemon in the game. Ain't that a delight. Oh, it was a Toxel. How interesting. Ooh, Squirtle. I am actually excited to see Squirtle. Squirtle's been one of my long-term hunts on the channel. If you've been following, you know that that's one that I've been wanting for ages. I want a really good Blastoise, but the game has not graced me with it yet. Alrighty, is anyone going to be hungry? Toxel's hungry. I don't really need another Toxel. I guess we'll catch a Bonsly today as well, since it's hungry and it's only got 2 pips left. But we are catching this Squirtle. This is top priority. Also gets a friendship level 39, which is pretty nice. We also actually have a sleep point budget now. I want to buy... No, I'll buy another one, actually. I'll just buy all the biscuits. I'll eventually use these biscuits anyway. The ones that are only 100 points, I'm eventually going to use them. That's like a guarantee. Thank you, Squirtle, for wasting a crit. I guess I could have a better one for an amped form for Toxel, so I will feed it the single biscuit. If it doesn't mega hit, though, we're just going to leave it for a future day. Next time it's hungry, we'll catch it. And Pseudo Bonsly, we can also just catch what we did with Bonsly, basically. Didn't really need it right away, so just used 2 biscuits to catch it. I'm sure that was one that was hungry that I fed. Anyway, what are these stats gonna be? Thank you, Neroli. We're always making serious strides around here. As for which candy to send out, we're gonna go with the Squirtle. I feel like it's the most meta-relevant, and it is pretty difficult to get up there in levels. Okay, 17,000 Dream Shards, not bad. Could be better, for sure, especially at Expert Mode, but for not really trying this week, it's not bad. Brave Nature. That is a positive nature, net positive, I'd say. It's speed up, XP down. Mono Milk. Well, this could make our Toxel redundant. But it doesn't, because it doesn't have ingredient find until level 100, which, that's a bit too late. Let's see, if we were to production comparison this to the amped form Toxel that I caught, I really am sorry about I'm terrible at remembering to get rid of Discord notifications or going to Do Not Disturb mode. Anyway, oh, that's, that's from reviewing your Pokemon video. Okay, skill level up M, and then double inventory. Just big pockets. Mega pockets Blastoise. With a speed of help up nature. If I need milk, how much milk does he produce? 101. Okay, now let's compare this to my Toxel. Now granted, the Toxel is conditional. But this guy's the funny guy. If we make an amped form... And then we say, well, give me a minute here. You gotta make sure we add a Plusle, I guess. Yeah, or something that has it. Okay. Well, I guess he does make more than the Tox does. Actually, a decent amount. Well, at level 2 main skill, that's also a factor. Because the Toxel's making, after I add all these different sources of income together, 93.56. But if I even increase that by 1 main skill level, then that increases it by like an additional 9, which puts it beyond what the Blastoise is making. So it'd only take 1 main skill seed to get a better Milk Farmer. That also doesn't have XP gains down, and ideally my goal in Blastoise is not for milk. My goal in Blastoise is for cacao. So even though this guy is maybe usable, that's what I'm going to say this guy is. He's usable, but not great. Milk is just, it's one that doesn't require really that much. And a Blastoise way overproduces, so that's the only reason why this is usable. But I'd much rather go with this, even though it is conditional and can take 1 main skill seed to outproduce. It's definitely the better route, especially considering that I'm still lacking a cacao farmer. The Blastoise can do that for me. Anyway, speaking of Toxel, we do have another one here. Oh, no, it wasn't Toxel. It's Bonsly. We fed it Bonsly. Lonely Nature Bonsly. Well, that's good. That's speed up energy down, which is a net positive. That is a good thing. With Skill Trigger S and Help Speed S, both sub-skill seedable, and inventory. This is actually a pretty solid Bonsly. This is a real solid Bonsly. I'm just going to throw it in the... I don't think I'm going to invest. Because honestly, at this point, I almost want to just say helping bonus or bust. There's been a mindset of like berry finding S or bust when it comes to berry finders, but genuinely, I think I'm at a point where I can't really work generalists into what I am doing on a team unless they have that helping bonus, because helping bonus is just so much more impactful than a lot of people give it credit for. And I just don't think that you can make good use out of it, or out of a Pokemon on teams, synergistic teams, without having that helping bonus. So, I don't know, I'll probably save it and look at it, but like, level 50, how does it compare to my Espeon? Now, my Espeon's just kind of mid. There might be an argument for, you know, what is it, expert mode. And I guess, okay, the Espeon is weaker than the Sudowoodo, and this is with help bonus stack set to 0. But if you just want to estimate the value of helping bonus, because 0 does actually underrate helping bonus quite a bit, especially on a generalist, then like this I think is a much more adequate route for rating a generalist. And if we go expert mode, rock favored berry, it does perform significantly better than the Espeon, I suppose. But I don't know. I don't think that's worth the investment with 5 main skill seeds and 2 sub-skill seeds, potentially 3. I'll still star it because it's probably my best Sudowoodo candidate, and if for some reason I need one, then this is probably it. But the odds of that are pretty slim. I'm going to be honest. Alrighty. Well, that basically is it for today's video. So, if you have enjoyed the brief discussions, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Down in the description, we'll have a link to join the Discord. You can come join us, hang out, talk about all things Pokemon, sleep, and the like. A huge thank you to all my channel members. It really means a lot to me. You guys want to show your support financially, despite there being no paid rewards for members. If you too want to become a channel member and are financially capable of doing so, feel free to click that join button down below. And as always, I thank you all for watching and hope that you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.